Following the rebellions of 1837 and 1838 in Lower Canada, as well as the rebellion movement in Upper Canada, the British government decided to act. They didn't want this to happen again. They had enough of the rebellions. In May of 1838, the government sent Lord Durham to Quebec City. This English nobleman was appointed Governor General and tasked with investigating the causes of the rebellion in the two colonies. After his investigation, Lord Durham submitted a report with several proposals to avoid new rebellions. One of these proposals called for the unification of Upper and Lower Canada. The British government really liked the idea of a union and decided to implement it in 1840. At this time, the government changed the constitution in order to unify Upper and Lower Canada and form a single province, United Canada. This is what we call the Act of Union. But what was exactly the goal of this union? The goal of the union was to assimilate French Canadians. In practice, this meant that the British government wanted French Canadians to set aside their culture, like their language and their religion, to adopt the culture of English Canadians instead. Why did the British government want to assimilate them? In his recommendations, Lord Durham suggested that assimilating French Canadians would end the tension between Francophones and Anglophones. What measures did the British government implement to assimilate them? Once again, the government wanted to implement recommendations given by Lord Durham, which proposed gradually changing French Canadian culture. This meant the government would encourage more English-speaking immigrants to move to Canada, so there would be more Anglophones than Francophones in the territory over time. French Canadians would therefore be forced to blend in with the English-speaking population. The Act of Union transformed the existing political structure. It went from 2 legislative assemblies to a single legislative assembly. The same thing happened to the legislative and executive councils. Now there was just 1 legislative council and 1 executive council. The system remained the same, but it was not favorable for Francophones. Even though Francophones in Lower Canada outnumbered Anglophones in Upper Canada, they didn't have more seats in Parliament under the new political structure because proportional representation wasn't implemented. Francophones lost significant political power. The Act of Union also led to other important changes. For example, the new colony was now called the Province of Canada. French civil law continued to apply in Lower Canada. However, English criminal law was enforced throughout the colony. The debts of both colonies were merged. This meant Lower Canada had to assume part of Upper Canada's heavy debt. Finally, English became the only official language with the goal of assimilating Francophones.